We'd like to thank today's sponsor, the Michigan Army National Guard. The Michigan Army National Guard is looking for citizens to serve their community, state, and country. Guard members participate in highly skilled and technical training as part of their service. They use these skills to assist their communities in times of need. Guard members can receive benefits to attend college full-time, covering the cost of tuition, books, and fees at most Michigan schools, plus great monthly pay. They can also attend vocational and job skill training courses. To find out more and to follow our one-of-a-kind NIL partnership with your University of Michigan athletes, follow us on Instagram at MI, like Michigan, MI Army Guard. All right, welcome in, everybody. The season is over. Michigan is Big Ten champs. Michigan is victors over their rivals for back-to-back 3 straight years. And we got another exciting episode of The Lab, which is, of course, brought to you by Champion Circle. Please head over to championscircleufm.com to find out how you can support your athletes. And boy, am I excited about this episode. We got the newly, you're an All-American, brand new, just saw it, right? AP All-American, right? I just want to start there, Zach. Like, what's that feeling like?
Yeah, I mean, pretty special. I wasn't one last year, and it's one of the goals why I came back. I wanted to be an All-American. It's something you last forever. Your face, ugly mugshot will be up in shim forever. So pretty pumped.
So let's talk about this because I could have left after my junior year. When I came back, that was a big part of it. Is like just to be a part of history. I don't know. Part of. Do you remember when you committed to Michigan? Like how big it was? Did the history play a big factor into it?
Yeah, no, it definitely did. And when I committed, we hadn't beat Ohio State. We hadn't won the Big Ten championship. And wanted to be part of the change and restore the history that it once was. So it's been special.
The thing about Michigan is there's a story to be told, and I don't know other teams as well as, of course, Michigan, but there's just this ongoing story. No matter what, there's a story being told about Michigan. That's kind of history, right? And what you just touched on is so important. The turning around of the program, the breaking through old ceilings. And we'll talk about that in a second. But, your part was as a leader, as a captain. Of course, your on-field play was recognized to the level it should have been as an All-American. When you're an All-American, okay, let me frame this. Could you describe to the fans, you said you got to take your picture. What does that mean?
So in shim, we got the ramp going up to the meeting rooms. We got a wall there that first team All-American. And I mean, it goes back all the way to whenever the first All-American
1800s, I want to say, right? Like it's back there.
Some old photos down there at the bottom of the ramp. And, they, as you go up the ramp, you get to see every day different Michigan players on the side that have been All-Americans. And, we got Blake, Olu, Hutch up there at the top. And, I'm gonna get to be next to him with my picture. So I'm excited.
Man, congratulations. It's absolutely earned. And the locker room's down on the ground level. And to get up to the meeting rooms, you walk up this really long ramp. Like it must be 30 yards, like probably about 100 feet, right?
Yeah, post-practice, post-lift. It's not the best ramp to walk up, but yeah, it's real long.
But every day you're walking past that history and you're walking past All-Americans. It's like two story. There's like 1 level, 2 level. It's like two vertical stacks, right? Of just guys after guys. And I don't know, man, I spent a lot of time when I was playing, like looking at these guys and looking through history and wondering like, I wonder, what role he played or how the team was during this year. And you have those thoughts as a young player, like, it'd be cool to be up on this wall one day. And of course, you got the moment, and we'll try to maybe link one of these in like a short form video or something. But it's that legendary threaded Block M sweater, right? Like
that big Block M sweater right on the chest.
It's pretty.
Not a real black and white, but it's like a not super colorful photo. It's just a gritty photo that goes up there, and it'll be there forever. When I got kids and grandkids hopefully one day, and I'm like, yeah, this is where Grandpa used to play. This is my photo right here.
Yeah. Hey, back in my day, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's not just that. I can't wait to talk to you about just everything of where you're at right now, because, you know, of course you have the injury. We'll talk about that, where the team is at right now, going to the Rose Bowl. You're an All-American, but you're graduating too, right? Like that's so important. What does that mean? I know you said you got your family in town, and what does that mean for you? What are you most looking forward to your graduation?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now, as you said, but yeah, no, I'm pumped. You know, when I committed to Michigan and was picking a school out of high school, I wanted a high academic school where, you know, you get that piece of paper, man, you graduated from the University of Michigan. I mean, that means something. So graduating out the sport management degree from the School of Kinesiology, going to be walking on Sunday. I think a couple of the guys are also walking with me, but I mean, it's definitely a special moment where graduated college, you know, you did it.
Are they going alphabetical order? Like, are you gonna be sitting
I
there for a good while?
hope not. I got accessibility seating for my leg too, so
Nice.
hopefully there's like, yeah, this guy's got a hurt leg. Let's get him across the stage real quick.
Yeah. Hey, that is like one of the good parts about the injuries. Is like you can do it at the movie theaters as well. Like you get all the preferred
right now.
What's
Awesome.
that? Yeah.
Got a handicap pass right now. Awesome.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we're in this world of like transfer portal, and I'm seeing some guys that are like 7 years, 8 years, and there's some guys that have been to like 3 different schools in their career. They don't even have a degree. And that's what's crazy about this is guys are bouncing around and they never get that degree for what you just talked about. For you, I want to give you a chance to like kind of express this, because not only did you stay and do your job, but you even decided to come back. You could have left last year, been a first, second, third round pick, whatever it would have been, but you decided to come back. I mean, you did your part. You beat Ohio State. At that time, you beat them back to back. You beat them in Columbus. You're back to back Big Ten champs, but you decided to come back. Now you get to graduate. You know, why is it important? Like, what does Michigan mean to you, and why is it important for you to stay the course?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you see a lot of days, like you said, the portal people, something goes wrong, times get hard, you know, a little adversity hits, you know, they jump in the portal and they go somewhere else where, you know, they're going to be an instant starter, or they think it's going to be easier when in reality, who knows if it's actually going to be easier wherever they go. But yeah, I mean, just staying at one place, staying true to who you are. I mean, wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the country. And I think that's just an attribute to the coaches and the guys in the locker room where, you know, it's fun to play at Michigan. We want to be at Michigan right now.
Mm-hmm. Is it almost sweeter when you stick through some of the tough times and you don't blink?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you think back to the COVID year where we didn't have a all great year. You know, everyone wanted Coach Harbaugh fired. You know, every name called at us. You know, we're terrible and all that. And then come out the next year, we just kept our heads down. You know, guys like Hutch and Vastardis and Josh Ross and all those guys came back. You know, they kept their heads down too and turned the program around, won the Big Ten championship. And, you know, it definitely does make it a little bit sweeter to prove everyone wrong.
Man, I can't help but think that it's like this paradox where it's like sometimes at your lowest point, like your most challenging point, maybe that's your closest point to like success, right? Like you mentioned it, you know, Michigan fans wanted Coach Harbaugh gone. I mean, you guys had like unranked going into the season, 0.1% chance to win the Big Ten title or whatever. So it appears as though you're so far away, and yet you're right there. Is that kind of a fair thing? Like, did you guys know at that point in time after that season, could you have possibly projected yourself forward to where we are right now to know the direction Michigan was going in?
I mean, I'm not sure if I could have projected, you know, we'd be 3-time back-to-back Big Ten champs, but I mean, I think it definitely, you know, just brought all the guys closer together. When you got all that noise, even this year, you know, you got all that noise outside the facility, you know, everyone saying this, that, and another about you, the team, coaches, you know, it really just it makes the guys in the locker room, the dudes in the building, the coaches in the building, you know, just come together and just shut that out and just really go to work.
This episode of The Lab is brought to you by Saxy Construction. Founded in 1991, Saxy Construction has built millions of square feet of commercial, retail, multifamily, and institutional space throughout the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Their passionate and enthusiastic team members are the most valuable asset, keeping their core values at the center of every project they take on. Helping you achieve your goals is their number one priority, and they are committed to providing a unique and exceptional experience. Man, we got to talk about it because, and thank you for coming on, by the way. You know, we know you got a lot going on as we talked about, but let's just go right back to that Ohio State game, man, and you know, talk about that moment. If you could just kind of take us through, you know, what happened and, you know, maybe your initial thoughts after you knew that you weren't going to be able to stand and walk.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a normal pass play, you know, just guy went to bull rush me, he was just hopping on the bull, you know, had him blocked. And then, you know, Trevor and Drake came in and sauced the guy and fell into my leg. And, I mean, I knew it was broke as soon as it happened. I mean, it sounded like a 2x4 getting snapped. It's definitely, you know, a sound that I'll never forget. You know what I mean? I can just hear it in my head. But I knew it was broke instantly, and I'm just on the ground like, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
And, you know, I was in a lot of pain. The worst pain was when the doctor came out, and, you know, I looked at it, and I mean, it's sideways. You know, that's probably why they didn't show it on TV and all that. And he, like, pulls it to straighten it out, you know, and you just feel all the bones, like, crinkling in there or whatever. And I was just like, that was probably the most painful part of the entire experience. But you know, it was rough laying there on the ground, you know, just wondering why, you know what I mean? Just all the emotions going on. You know, my mom and my dad were down there, coaches were down there, had all the doctors, teammates. So I mean, there's a lot going on right there. But I mean, it was tough when I was there, and then, you know, I get up onto that cart and I'm like, I am not crying in front of 100,000 and come to find 20 million on TV. So, you know, got in the cart and then just, you know, hearing the fans and stuff chanting my name and, you know, getting rowdy when I was getting off the field, you know, something special. I was telling the guys, you know, laughing about it. It's like, if I never broke my leg, they would have never have chanted "Let's go, Zach," ever. You know what I mean? So there's something funny and, on the bright side to look at everything. But, you know, it was the best worst case scenario. Didn't touch my knee or my ankle, just clean break of the tib and fib, and I got a metal rod in my leg now.
Yeah. You know, you really do go through these things where it's like I know when I tore my ACL in the bowl game, like the literal first thought was like, I like audibly, my internal voice was like, nah, there's no way that happened. I remember the snap, like the sound of my tendon or my ligament snapping, like a loud pop. It all sounded like a gunshot. And I remember laying on the ground like, damn, there's no way that this just happened, you know? And I went through the same thing that you went through. So you get back into the locker room. Like, what were those initial moments in the locker room? Were you able to compose yourself? Were you able to show a little bit more emotion? You know, what were those initial moments?
Yes, like? I mean, I didn't even get to the locker room. I went right up on the cart, put me right into the back of the ambulance. They start poking me with an IV and asking me all these questions. And I don't think it really had set in at that point yet. Like, I wasn't like super emotional. I was just kind of like still like, this can't be happening, one of that type of deal. And then, you know, we get to the hospital and it's like one of those movie scenes. It's like, you know, they come out the door's open and there's literally like 50 people just lining the halls, like ready to, like, I don't even know, but you get into like the little ER spot and they just like start cutting everything off of me. Like, all of the pants, the spat, the
power tools.
No, just with scissors and stuff. Okay. Like I felt like I was getting taken apart like an Iron Man suit in the movie. You know what I mean? Because there's people coming at you from everywhere. And then, you know, I'm like, don't cut this jersey off. Like, I'm saving this jersey. Like, do not cut this jersey off. So I'm struggling to like get this jersey up. We're trying to take the straps off. I start cramping in my leg, of course. I'm sure you know the same feeling. Like, I'm dehydrated, like just third quarter of a football game. And I'm like, I need some water. They're like, no, you're going into surgery. So they give me like these little ice cubes, like this big. They're like, here, just suck on some ice chips. I'm like, that's not going to do it, lady. Like, they start putting a fan on me because I'm like dripping sweat. we didn't got the jersey off though, so we got it off. It's saved. It's all good.
Awesome.
There's definitely some funny moments you can take away from it.
Just flat out chaos as you get into the hotel, basically, right?
Chaos when we first got there. They're cutting everything off, and they're bringing like the X-ray machine that's like on the wheels to the side. They're trying to like drape the X-ray things over me. It was a lot of chaos going on.
It was a compound like that. That's why, right? I mean, this was a clean break of your bones. Like they needed to put it back together right away, right?
Yeah. So it was a clean break. Like what's the bigger one? Is it the tibia?
Fib, yeah.
That one was like a clean break right through. So was the fibula, but the fibula had like a chunk hanging off of it. So like it was a clean break right through. It was sideways. So it was pretty messed up, and they're worried about like the muscles like and the swelling or something like that, just like getting too big, like swelled up too big, I guess, in a sense. Like, so they were like, yeah, we just got to do surgery as soon as possible because they were worried about the muscles and the swelling and them not being able to like straighten everything back up in there right away.
Yeah. So when you went under, was the first thing that you saw like was Coach Harbaugh waiting there for you? Like, so
Coach Harbaugh, he showed up. So this is a little misconception. Everyone's seen like the clock and stuff and thinking that he was there at like 4 a.m. He was there at like 4 p.m. before the game was even over.
Oh my gosh. So he saw this and immediately went to the hospital.
He saw this and was like, let's go to the hospital like as soon as it happened. So like I still have like, you see like the glove and stuff. Like I had a cast on this hand. So that's why it was still on. No one wanted to cut my cast off in the ER for some reason. They were like, I'm not cleared to cut a cast off. Like, I'm like, my hand's fine. I just wearing a cast in the game to protect me. So no one wanted to cut my cast off. So that's why they was there. And then Coach Harbaugh just starts coming around the corner. Like, as soon as I was there, I was like, oh, hey, Coach, good to see you. You know, Sarah was there with him. So it was pretty cool to see how fast he got there, and he was there for me.
That's how you greeted him? Like, hey, Coach, how's it going?
he was like, so what happened? I'm like, yeah, just clean break, tib, fib. Oh, that's all right. I had that same injury. I'm sure you know where this is going. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, you'll be up and walking in no time.
Yeah. So what's the recovery? 3 months?
That's the recovery.
Cut it in half. A month and a half.
Yeah. You know how that goes. No, it was awesome for him to show up and be there as quick as he was. You know what I mean? It was still chaos pretty much going on when he peeked his head around the curtain.
Man, it's crazy though. I mean, just like that even gets me a little bit emotional thinking about it because, and thank God, like all things considered, like you said, it's a 3-month recovery, right? Like this will be behind you. You'll be playing. You'll be good for spring ball, right? You won't perform at the combine though, right? Or will you?
I'm not sure yet. I'll be at the combine, probably just running around, showing teams I'm close to being healthy. But I probably won't. I don't know if I'll do anything yet, just because I'll be healthy, but I don't know if I'll be at like peak performance,
Yeah.
Numbers out. So who knows if I save it for a pro day or a private workout or whatnot. Still getting all those details figured out, and I'm sure we'll figure it out along the way how I'm feeling.
I mean, the fact that that's even the conversation right now is remarkable and encouraging and amazing, right? I mean, I think that's what Coach Harbaugh said in his presser. Like, all things considered, this is maybe one of the best possible. Like, no ligament tears, no tendon tears, nothing like that.
Yeah, I've been saying it's best worst case scenario,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with my knee, no ligaments. It didn't. The fracture, they were worried about spiraling down into my ankle. Didn't happen. Got a CAT scan, all that stuff. So very, very lucky for what did happen. So I've been saying best worst case scenario.
That's a real thing, man. The best worst case scenario. Hey, we're all going to hit a worst case scenario at some point in our life. And if you can avoid the worst case scenario, that's great. Even better when you can do the best case. But, I just feel like it was a moment in time again, man, of just like I felt everybody come together. You mentioned the crowd chanting your name. Blake, very next play, gets it. Bounce, bounces it backside, touchdown. He throws up the 6-5. Did you see that? Did anyone show you or did you know that happened?
I didn't see that until the next morning after surgery. I woke up because I'm in the ER asking for score updates and everything. And they're telling me, oh, we're up, we got the ball. And then, oh, we won. They didn't tell me how stressful that end of that game was. I went back and watched the TV copy and I was like, you guys made this sound like we just walked away with it at the end. I was like, it was a lot more stressful watching the TV copy a couple days after.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Yeah, I had to call a game right after, and I was freaking so nervous watching that, but
Yeah.
it was nuts. Like, what I feel like offensive linemen stick together, man, and I think there was some shots of like Carson Barnhart. There was a couple guys, just looking on at that moment. Did anyone were those guys able to come see you? Did they, is there any moment after the surgery was behind you that you can remember where the O-line comes and like stands by your side?
Yeah, they FaceTime me. I'm still in like the ER, before surgery and stuff. They FaceTime me from the locker room after the game, and they saved me the like actual game ball from the game and like gave that to me. So that was awesome. And when they FaceTime me, that's when the emotions started coming. I just started crying and I love you guys and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, they FaceTime me right after the game and gave me that. And then the day after surgery. Everyone was coming in. The whole line, JJ, receivers. Coaches. Coach Harbaugh was there a couple of times. Coach Moore. There was a lot of love while I was in the hospital for the couple of days after the surgery. Trevor brought a bunch of milkshakes for me and stuff. He sets down like 8 milkshakes. Like, dude, I got you all these milkshakes. Like, which one do you want? And I was like, yeah, give me this one. And then we're like sitting there for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to drink all these milkshakes. Like, I'm barely eating right now. Like, you want one? He's like, dude, I'm waiting 5 minutes for you to offer me one of these milkshakes. So we got a photo of all of us just drinking milkshakes while I'm there in the hospital.
Good. Yeah. That's always good, man. You need that. You need the sweets. That's maybe one of the better parts about going through a tough time and an injury or a sickness is like, it's all on the table. You can eat whatever, you can do whatever, and feel no remorse for like a few days after it, right?
Yeah, I got like 3 edible arrangements, and I was eating like chocolate covered fruit. It felt like for a week and a half after the surgery, which was awesome.
That's great. So, okay, so here we are, and you guys handle business versus Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, and then it's kind of selection Sunday, right? And you guys are waiting to see. Obviously, you find out you're number one. You find out you're playing Alabama. Coach Harbaugh had a great line about like this being a spiritual journey for the team. I think Blake Corum talked about like, listen, man, we're the number one team. You guys have to play us. Do you remember your initial reaction or thoughts when you found out? Well, first off, 1, you guys are going to the Rose Bowl, but 2, the matchup versus Alabama.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's Michigan versus Alabama. We were talking about it today. In the Rose Bowl, this might not be the college football game of the year. It might be the game of the century. Not too often you get 2 big names like this playing in the Rose Bowl. So, my initial reaction was, let's go. And then, everyone's saying, you see the clip online, like, oh, we were disappointed or we're scared to play Alabama. I think a lot of us were shocked. At the same time, we got an undefeated FSU team who, if it was an undefeated Clemson team with the first string quarterback that went down, yeah. I'm thinking they get in still. But their whole thing with, their quarterback getting hurt and them not being the same team. I'm making jokes. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm glad we didn't get kicked out because I snapped my leg.
Right. That was I know. I was shocked.
I feel bad for those guys. They put all that work in. They're undefeated ACC champs. If it was an undefeated ACC Clemson team, they're in, no question doubted.
Yeah. And it's in I think for a few reasons, dude, like football is like the greatest team sport, but this works against it. Football is the greatest sport period because every game matters, right? Like you have no room for error. This putting Bama in over them works against that principle. So it's absolutely nuts. But like you said, man, the truth is this is going to be an unbelievable matchup. And I wanted to ask you about this because Coach Harbaugh called this like a spiritual journey. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, you can go back to the COVID year, like you said, when you think about a spiritual journey, it's about like kind of staring your demons in the face and like slaying them and getting to the next level. Like, hey, man, like you guys are, people wanted Coach Harbaugh fired. You're unranked going into the season. You exceed expectations. Okay, well, you never beat Ohio State. Well, you do it. Oh, well, you never won a Big Ten championship. Well, you do it. Oh, well, you never beat Ohio State and Columbus. Yeah, well, you do that. And then you're Big Ten champs. And you've just been like breaking through these ceilings. You know, the spiritual journey, you have to face the next challenge, which is to win a playoff game and to beat the best the SEC has to offer, right? To me, it's like the perfect logical next step is that, in a sense, this is the perfect matchup for you guys. Like, I think you've been the best team in the country all year long anyways. So what a great opportunity. No one can question that. You know, the path that's ahead, if you guys do what you're capable of and handle business, no one will be able to question it, right? Is that a fair kind of gauge on the temperature of the situation?
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit it spot on. I mean, Alabama, top of the big bad SEC, and I think it's just like you said, another stepping stone and just defying the odds. You know, some people may not believe, but people have doubted us all year, and a lot of the big games that we've won. So, I mean, it's just another step in our journey and accomplishing that, and proving that Big Ten is going to be the biggest, baddest conference in college football. So we're excited for the matchup, man. I mean, it's the Rose Bowl. I mean, it's pretty iconic. I mean, you're gonna tell your grandkids about that too. Like, played in the Rose Bowl when I was in college. I mean, I'm pumped.
Do you have any initial memories? Like, for me, like when I committed to Michigan, that picture of Charles Woodson with a rose in his mouth like is burned into my memory. Like, do you have any initial memories or anything from growing up about the Rose Bowl?
I mean, I know that exact photo too, but I think just every Michigan game I'm at as a recruiter player, I mean, right there outside the locker room, it's Michigan Rose Bowl with every date that's there. So I mean, I've seen that more times than I can count, and just being able to add a date to that's going to be pretty sweet.
The granddaddy of them all, too, right? I mean, I've never even been. When I committed, I thought I'd go. It's going to be my first time. Can't wait to watch you guys go out there and play. I guess here's another thing I'm curious about is some people may say, well, you know what, Zach, you're an All-American, and losing Zach Zinter ahead of playing Alabama, it's a tough thing. And of course, you can't, what you bring to the team, man, like it has to be noted. But I also want to present the perspective to the fans about how offensive linemen cross train. Like, you guys prepare for situations in like the team isn't going in blind to this is what I'm saying here. Can you talk about like that, spring ball with Coach Sharon Moore? Like, how often are you guys switching positions and working different situations just in case emergencies happen?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Moore says it since day one of spring ball. It's going to take more than the starting 5 linemen to go win this whole thing. And I mean, I think you've seen it just as the years gone on. I mean, we've had multiple tackles rotate. We've had different guards go in the game. I mean, we have so much depth in that room too. I mean, we truly do have 2 starting offensive linemen in that room. I mean, our 1s and 2s. And I mean, yeah, when it goes to spring ball, I mean, sometimes those spring ball practices get long and a little boring, and you're like, hey, let's switch it up. Me and Trevor be switching all the time, going left and right, playing different positions, just mixing up, preparing for cases like this where if someone goes down, someone else can step up. And I mean, Carson's literally played every position. Trente has played a lot of football too. So, I mean, I got all the faith in the world in those guys. And, they're going to be just as ready as they would be if Carson was playing tackle or Trente was, playing guard or whatever it is.
Man, I'm trying to think of a good analogy for people, but like, it's easier said than done to just go, oh, well, I'm on the left side. Well, I'll just pop over to the right, or, I'm on the inside. All right, I'll pop outside here. You ever do those like mental quizzes where it's like, rotate this piece 90 degrees. Like it'll be like a triangle. It's like rotate this piece 90 degrees. And it's like a multiple choice. It's like, what will that look like? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I knew
that, right? You're flipping everything in your head.
Yeah. It's like, you got to go from like right and lefty almost, but then like, you're going to almost go right, left-handed or something like that. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, you got to flip everything, not just like your stance and all that, but the plays and, you get used to playing on one side. So, I mean, it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but we do train for it.
Why do you think this team, like, what about this team? Like, why them as good as anyone, man. You're a captain. This is a damn good Alabama football team. It's Nick Saban. Why do you think this team is ready for this and built for this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to even like we talked about the COVID year. I mean, a lot of my class, the fifth years, the senior leaders on this team. I mean, we went through hell to get to where we are now, and I mean, it's just another step in what we got to do and what we got to accomplish. And I think just the bonds and you know the culture in the locker room that we've created here is, I mean, it's special. I mean, I don't honestly, I probably won't ever be on a team like this ever again. You know, everyone says the NFL is always different. You know, it's a true business, but you know, we really have a true brotherhood here, and you know, everyone plays for each other. And I think we seen that the last few weeks. You know, guys moving around all over the place, people playing different positions, and you know, I think we got the confidence, we got the players to go out and do it.
Dude, 100%. And I, you know, just to add some context to what you're saying, you know, look, the NFL is the ultimate dream. It's got amazing things about it, but it's completely different in the sense, like, I remember my rookie year, I made a bunch of friends from our rookie class. Most of them were undrafted. And then cut days come, and every guy I had invested in to build a relationship was cut. So I walk back in the locker room and it's like, oh my gosh, the two dudes that were next to me in my lockers, cut. The new guy that came in was signed and cut in the same day. Like, bullets are whizzing past my head. Whereas in college, like, you know these dudes. You go to class together. You live together. You drink milkshakes together. You hang out together. You form this like brotherhood, right? It leads me to say, like, you know, as we're winding down this season, you're graduating, you're putting a bow on your time here. Is there a memory that stands out to you as one of your favorites from your time at Michigan?
That's tough. That is tough. I mean, there's countless memories that I'm gonna have from leaving here. I mean, I think the latest one is, you know, getting that trophy at the Big Ten championship, holding it up. I mean, that's a memory that I'll never forget ever. But then you got the memory of living with 6 other dudes in a little house on Dewey Street, and you know, just hanging on the porch on the weekends, or you know, coming home late at night, or whatever it is. I mean, there's so many memories. Or you know, you're running conditioning test 150s, you know, in blitz, and everyone's dying together. I mean, there's memories all over the place that, you know, I don't know if I could pick one specific one that's my best memory, but there's a lot of really good memories.
There's nothing like living with 6 dudes in a house that really isn't supposed to house 6 300-pound dudes, you know?
Rooms in the attic and 2 in the basement. It's like 2 bathrooms for 6 dudes. It was a time for sure. But, you know, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, listen, man, it's been a pleasure to watch. We appreciate the way you've handled yourself and carried yourself, and you know, man, to help plant the seeds to get the program to where it is today. I can tell you, as a former player and now a fan of the team, we really, really appreciate you. As we wind this down, I just wanted to take a chance, because we were talking about this in the pre-show. For our viewers that may be curious, hey, what's holidays like? Like, what is it like around Christmas time for the team? Could you give us a preview of you guys' schedule? Because, of course, you got the big game. You got the Rose Bowl right around the corner.
Yeah, so the 3 years I've been here, we haven't been able to go home for Christmas. You know, we always play on New Year's Eve or whatnot, so we play on the 1st this year. So we're actually we're getting to fly home for almost 48 hours for Christmas, which I'm pumped for. You know, I haven't been home for Christmas in a while, you know, to spend time with the family. So, you know, we'll work out, we'll have practices through these weeks, and then fly home the night of the 23rd after practice, and then, you know, spend a couple days at home. And then we're going to fly back to Ann Arbor on Christmas night of the 25th. And then we're going to head out to Cali on the 26th.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, so you guys you'll all fly out together then from Ann Arbor on the 26th. You won't meet
we're all going to go home. Then we'll come back here as a team and then fly out together.
It's a lot of responsibility to ask guys to fly from their towns and meet in Cali. Got to make sure they're in Ann Arbor.
You got to make sure everyone makes their flight out to Cali for sure.
They have bowl gifts out there, bowl suites for the Rose Bowl.
They definitely will, probably, because we've had bowl suites the last couple times, you know, at the Orange Bowl and then the Fiesta Bowl. So I'm assuming the Rose Bowl gifts are gonna be pretty sweet.
I'd imagine so. What's been your, so these bowl suites, when you go to a bowl game, to the viewers, just you kind of, you have like a little tiered system usually. Like you have like 6 points to spend. 1 point might be some headphones, the second might be a grill, the third might be a recliner, 4 points might be an Xbox. Have you got some good gifts from going to the bowl games? Anything stand
Yeah,
out?
no, I've gotten some really good gifts. I mean, I got like a Blackstone electric
Oh,
griddle,
nice.
like a little like it's like a hard Yeti, but it's like the small like rectangular one. It's got like the Verbo Fiesta Bowl logo on the top. What else? Oh, I got like a big waterproof speaker that I carry around all over the place from the Orange Bowl. So I've definitely got some nice gifts. They're pretty
Yeah.
nice. You go in there, it's like, yeah, I get like a free $500 or whatever it is. There points to spend on these gifts. So it's dedefinitely a plus.
Oh man, I can't. I'm gonna have to check in with you and see what the Rose Bowl is offering. I'm sure they do it big out there.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Well, listen, we know you got a bunch to get to, and I know you got some family in town. So, thanks so much for joining us. Super, super happy, man, that you're doing so well, and that it sounds like recovery. You're just crushing it, as to be expected. So, can't wait to see you down there out in Pasadena, and I hope you have an awesome holiday, man. Merry Christmas to you and the family, and thanks so much for all you've done for the program, for the team, for the university. Been an awesome representative, and I'm looking forward to seeing your picture in the All-American sweater vest on the wall. Can't wait to check that out next time I'm in town.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. Everyone have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and see you out at the Rose Bowl.
Go Blue.
Go Blue.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week.